Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Holy Face Time. And today is, of course, February 19th, and this is a continuation I'm doing on the Septuagesima teachings of Dom Prosper's liturgical year from this, and we're continuing on with the story of Adam and Eve. And this is getting fascinating. Okay, so we just heard in the last episode that they were hiding in fear. The Adam and Eve after they ate of the apple. So let's begin today. The guilty pair appear before the great God whom they have offended, and instead of acknowledging their guilt, they would plagiate and excuse it. But divine justice pronounces their condemnation, and the sentence shall be felt by their posterity, even to the last generation. The two beings that had committed the heinous crime had been enriched with every gift of nature and grace, and it was not with them as it is with us. Concupiscence, which gives us inclination for what is wrong, ignorance and forgetfulness, which cloud the intellect of fallen man. These miseries had nothing whatever to do with the fall of our first parents. They sinned through sheer ingratitude. They began by weighing the proposal of the revolt when they ought to have spurned it with indignation and conquered by flight. Then, by degrees, the proposed crime seemed no great harm, because though God would lose their obedience, they would gain by the disobedience. And at the length, the love of God was made to give place to the love of self, and they declared their independence, yet God had mercy on them because of their prosperity. And I just want to stop here for a second because I want to indicate the first mistake they made was engaging in conversation with the devil. Do not engage in conversation with the devil. Run immediately to our Lord and ask the angels, the saints, and ask for help. Okay, so the angels were all created. So where is it? Yeah. The angels were all created at one and the same time in an instant, and each of them were subject to the trial, which was to decide his eternal future. Each angel depended on his own act and on his own choice between fidelity to his creator or rebellion against him, so that they who rebelled drew on themselves the eternity of God's chastisement. The human race, on the contrary, existed not save as representative in its first two parents, and was plunged by and with them into the abyss of God's reprobation. Therefore, God, who spared not the angels, mercifully spared the human race. But let us listen to the three sentences pronounced by God after the fall of man. The first is against the serpent, and it is the severest. The curse which is already upon him is deepened, and the pardon which is about to be promised to the human race is to be given in the form of an anathema against the wicked spirit that has dared to war with God in the work of his hands. I will put an enmity between thee and the woman. She shall crush thy head. Thus does God avenge himself of his enemy. The victory won over the woman is made to turn against the proud conqueror, and because his humiliation and his defeat in his fiendish craft, he had directed his first attack not against the man but against the woman. She by nature was weaker and more credulous, and if he conquered her, he hoped too well, alas, that Adam would be led to turn against his creator, in order not to displease the creature. All happened as he willed. But now, see how God uses the woman to foil and punish him. He enkindles in her heart an implacable hatred against his and our enemy. This true serpent may raise his proud head here and there, find men that will adore him. The day will come when a woman's foot shall crush this head, which refused to bend before God. This daughter of Eve, whom all generations are to be called blessed, shall be prefigured by other women, by Deborah, Judith, Esther, and others. All celebrated their victories over the serpent. But she shall be followed until the end of time by an uninterrupted succession of Christian virgins and matrons, who with all their weaknesses shall be powerful in cooperating with God's designs. And as the apostle says, the unbelieving husband shall be sanctified by the believing wife. Thus will God punish the serpent's pride before pronouncing upon our first parents the sentence that they have deserved. He promises to bless their posterity and pours into their own hearts a ray of hope. To be continued tomorrow on Thursday. So let's just contemplate this for a second here. The Virgin Mary, she represents all the women in the Gospels who had victory over the serpent. In modern times, we have all of these beautiful cloistered nuns. And some would ask, what is the most powerful warrior in the world? And, I think really when we look at these cloistered nuns, they have forsaken the world for Christ. They are undoing everything that Eve did in the garden. And I believe that their prayers united with Christ in his sufferings and united with the Blessed Virgin Mary, these are the most beautiful and pure, prayerful warriors that, are covering our world in grace. And we have no idea, okay? When we get to heaven, we'll see all of these, we'll be enlightened by all these magnificent women who have died to themselves and forsaking the love of man for the love of God. And, in perpetual virginity, they've given everything to our Lord. All, everything, sacrifices, it's unbelievable. And so I think, that we have these tremendous, we should really ponder this, and we should actually, I believe, support all of our local sisters, convents, monasteries, whether they're cloistered or uncloistered. We should seek them out and help them in their vocation to, to lead others closer to God. Until next time, I'll be continuing this the story of Adam and Eve. Until next time, God bless you all. Blessed be his holy name. Blessed be his adorable face. Bye now.